I don't know why I do this, and I get told, just don't say anything. Just, no one's even gonna notice, and I do it anyway, and I'm gonna do it right now. I always point out if I have like a flaw. Right now I got a zit. It's on my face, and I've decided to tell you about it. Maybe if I didn't, you wouldn't even know it was there. Maybe you'd notice and go, whatever, it's a pimple, who cares? For some reason, I don't know if it weirdly like makes me feel good because I'm pointing it out before anyone else can point it out or think it. I always will announce when I'm out with other human beings whatever flaw or blech thing is going on with me. So I almost didn't do this how-to video today that I'm going to be doing because I had this pimple on my face and I was like, I'm going to wait until it goes away. Well, it's not going away. So anyways, I pointed it out and I'm sorry. I know it's weird. Moving on. Hey everyone, what's going on? I'm Alli. Welcome to our channel if you're new. And today I'm going to be teaching you something really, really cool. It's pretty trendy right now as well in videos, travel videos, vlogs, even corporate videos. Why don't I just show you what you're going to be able to do by the end of this how-to video in Premiere Pro right now. So let's get right into this tutorial so you can learn how to do this too. Okay, so if you want to follow along with this tutorial using the same clip that I'm working on, and I recommend you do, then go to video.pexels.com. Type into the search bar, woman walking around in the rain, and find this clip right here. Then download it for free because Pexels has free stock video clips that you can use for whatever you want. Once you've downloaded that clip, bring it on into Premiere Pro and drag it onto your timeline. Let's scrub through this clip because it's actually several clips within one clip, and bring our cursors to this second clip here where a new scene is shown. We'll only be using the second clip, so let's drag the left side of this footage inward. Lovely, and scrub through the footage again. Okay, and we'll drag this clip from the right in, so we exclude the next clip that shows. So let's drag it to 07:18 seconds in, which you can check for reference up here. I'll press the plus key on my keyboard to zoom into this clip more in the timeline, and holding down Alt or Option on your keyboard, select this clip and drag it on upwards so that you create a duplicate of this clip that can be placed on the third video track. Next, let's select our title tool over here in the toolbar. Click on the program window and type in rainy days. Highlight this text and open up the effect controls panel. You can change the font to whatever you'd like. I like this Sigu UI font. Don't know if I said that correctly, but we'll pretend I did. Let's change the text size to 245 by dragging the slider to the right. I currently have a shadow added to this font, but I want to change the color of that shadow, so let's double tap on the shadow box and make the shadow darker. Great. Press OK. Now let's go back over to our toolbar and click on the selection tool. Go back up into the program window and drag this font into the lower part of the frame and center it. Okay, that's looking good. Let's click back on the title tool for a second and select this rainy days text. Go back into our effect controls, hovering over this icon here, drag it to the left or right, and by doing so, you're adding more or less space in between each of the letters. I find whenever I'm using titles and doing this effect, I really like spacing in between each of my letters. So I've added more space in between each of my letters. I'll change back to the selection tool again and move this text down in the frame a little bit more. Awesome. Okay, in the timeline, let's drag this title text layer inward so that it's the same length and duration as the clips we'll be working with. And let's bring it on to track 2 so that it's in between this clip and the duplicate of this clip. All right, what we're gonna do is have that rainy days text appear behind the truck. So it's gonna look as if the truck's driving by. It's gonna cross the frame from left to right, and this text will show up after the truck's driven by behind it. I'm so excited. I love this effect. I'm excited to teach you it. I've been using it on all my travel vlogs, on Instagram stories. It's super cool. Okay, so let's turn the eyeball off on the V3 video track here on our timeline and slowly scrub through this footage until the truck shows up on the left of the frame and gets close to the text on screen. We want to make sure the truck isn't overlapping the text. Rather, we want to choose the frame just before the edge of the truck gets to that rainy day's text. Cool, okay, so with the cursor there, let's turn the eyeball back on video track 3 and go up to our effect controls panel, and under opacity, click the pen tool. And here's where the magic begins. Okay, make sure this toggle is selected, and you can tell it's selected because it turns blue when it's selected, and this will create the first keyframe of this effect. You can see that keyframe right here. I have my mask feather at 10, which will subtly feather this mask so that the mask isn't this straight, sharp mask. I usually will feather my mask a little bit, so if your mask feather isn't set to 10, set it to 10. And let's just reselect the pen tool here. Great. And now start tracing around this truck shape here on the program window. You want to do your best to make pen points around the edges. So not within the truck, but just on the edge outside of the truck. But if you make any mistakes, you can always drag the points wider or tighter afterwards. And now we'll do the same thing. Go back to the timeline, click on the timeline and use the right arrow key to move over a few frames. Go back up to the effect control panel. Make sure mask is selected so that you continue to create keyframes as you go, and adjust this mask accordingly. Is this time consuming? Yeah, a little bit. Is it tedious? Sure, yeah, it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. But is it worth it? Yes, it is so worth it. It just ups your vlogs or your travel videos or whatever you're doing, makes them look higher end and, I don't know, I think cooler. And when you see the end result, I don't know, personally I became sort of addicted to using this effect whenever I'm using titles in my videos. I feel like maybe you'll feel the same. So you can continue to do this. I'm gonna continue to do this on my end, but I'm also gonna speed up the video so that you're not sitting here watching this tedious process. And I'll slow right back down when we get to the next part of what you need to know about using this effect. You can also hover your mouse over the mask, and this move tool, this hand icon, will pop up and allow you to move the entire mask over. So we'll move it over slightly and continue to drag the pen points of this mask out. Okay, let's bring our cursor to the beginning of the timeline and hit the spacebar to play this through. Nice, it's looking good, but it could use a touch of perfectionism. So let's go back up to the program panel and change fit to 100% so that we can get in nice and close to these details. Let's scroll over to the left and yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I need to adjust the mask slightly so that this R letter isn't overlapping the truck. Let's select that clip on V3 on our timeline, go back to the effect controls and select mask so that it appears over the footage again in the program panel. And we'll raise the mask a little bit higher here so that we don't see the R letter overlapping anymore. We'll go back to our timeline, click on it and use the right arrow key to go over a few more frames and continue to adjust the mask. Now that we're zoomed in 100% on our program window and we can really see the details, and we'll keep adjusting this mask until we aren't seeing any of those letters overlapping. Let's click back on fit so we can watch back this effect in its entirety. Bring our cursor to the beginning of the timeline here, hit the space bar. Beauty, right on. That looks super cool. And there you go. That's how you make text appear in your footage. Thank you so much for checking this video out. We have so much fun making these vlogs and how-to tutorials, and we're very, very happy that we see people consistently watching them and asking us questions. For more editing tutorials, video tutorials, and to check out what we're doing around this beautiful city of Toronto and around the world, subscribe to our channel, ding the bell, ding the bell, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video that's coming out next week.